Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. Why I Love Palladium. What you see before you is a 1 ounce palladium bar produced by Pamp Swiss. Palladium is what I refer to as a fringe precious metal. It is part of the platinum group metals, and most of those metals I consider to be fringe precious metals because of their relatively late discovery in history, and also because of the volatile nature and their use mainly in industry and technology. Palladium is a very volatilely priced metal. It has gone up as high as well over $1,000 in 2001 to a more recent time when it had gone down to as low as $168 an ounce in the mid 2000s, 2005 through about 2010 or so. It was during that time that I made a purchase of this bar, and I believe I paid just over $200 for it. Now we see it rising up again beyond its previous highs, well over $1,000 an ounce. Some people think it may catch up to gold in terms of its price. But in terms of its rarity, it is up to 15 times more rare than platinum. And platinum is considered to be between 15 and 20 times rarer than gold. But some say that conservatively that it's about 10 times rarer than gold. But nonetheless, palladium is a rare metal. But rarity doesn't necessarily translate to its price. And of course, because it's a fringe precious metal, that means that it can't be relied upon as the hedge that we can rely upon with gold and silver, and sometimes platinum. But nonetheless, palladium is an interesting metal. It is a dense precious metal, but it is the least dense of the platinum group metals, making its density somewhere between silver and gold. As you can see here, upon looking at this Pamp Swiss bar, it does have a dull look. It is almost indistinguishable from platinum in terms of its look, although in my view, it does tend to have an even slightly more dull appearance, even than with this brilliantly struck piece. Some of the mints around the world in recent years have started to produce bars and coins and rounds from palladium. And this really kind of started back when palladium was priced as low as $168 an ounce is when you started to see the production. There's a mine in the United States, the famous Stillwater mine, the sole producer of palladium in the United States, that created bars and rounds utilizing images of a Lewis and Clark and a buffalo. A fascinating metal indeed. It is also highly industrialized in its use, especially as a catalytic converter. Right now it is dominating in the catalytic converter markets, especially with gasoline engines, where platinum has suffered a bit in that area, especially due to the diesel engines and what happened with Volkswagen. And I think that is one reason why you've seen the price parity crossover between the two metals. But nonetheless, its use is pretty amazing. And the discovery and how it was discovered is quite an amazing story as well. It was discovered in 1803 and named after an asteroid. Palladium is more rare than gold and platinum. It's the only palladium mine, as I mentioned, is in Montana, the Stillwater mine. But its rarity, as it was first isolated in 1803 by English chemist William Hyde Wollaston, who would go on to discover other platinum group metals, rhodium, shortly thereafter. He discovered palladium by dissolving platinum in a mixture of nitric acid and hydrochloric acid and noticed that a second element was left behind. Instead of simply reporting this find, Wollaston made a game of it. He put some of it for sale with a London mineral dealer and advertised the new metal's properties on handbills posted around the city. According to Chemicool, another chemist, Richard Chenevix, declared the new metal to be a hoax, but Wollaston got the last laugh. In 1805, he described palladium to the Royal Society of London and revealed himself as the element's discoverer only at the end of the speech. A very interesting metal indeed. Its catalytic converter properties certainly make it in demand, and its rarity make it even more. The U.S. imports about 90% of the platinum group elements. Its uses including palladium, according to the USGS, so the Stillwater mine can't keep up with the demand. Palladium's most incredible ability is that it can absorb up to 900 times its volume of hydrogen, according to the Thomas Jefferson National Accelerator Facility. Because of that ability, palladium is used to store and filter hydrogen. It can be recovered as nuclear waste product from spent fuel rods. And it can also be recycled from the parts used in catalytic converters. At one time, palladium was used as an early treatment for tuberculosis, but its harmful side effects led to better treatment alternatives. And in certain amounts, palladium is said to be prone to spontaneously igniting in air. Let's hope it doesn't happen in 1 ounce size amounts. As I mentioned earlier, palladium has been used since the mid-2000s in pieces and coins around the world. The Royal Canadian Mint was one of the first to produce actual bullion coins out of palladium. And it was only last year that the United States Mint got on board and created its first palladium coin, the Palladium Eagle. And it certainly rocked the numismatic community, with the Mint announcing that they were only going to be producing 15,000 of those. And they have since sold out and skyrocketed in price numismatically. In 2018, they made their first proof version. It is an interesting and fascinating metal indeed, but it is a fringe precious metal. In my view, palladium should never be viewed as a hedge against anything. To me, it's almost pure speculation, because the only time that it's produced in bars and the like is a way to be able to hold it physically and to be able to enjoy it and treasure it as a speculation metal, because it is seen so much as a commodity and rarely used in coinage. But I still think because it is used in coinage and in forms such as what you see here, I do consider it a fringe precious metal. But in my view, palladium is much more of a speculative metal, and for that reason, I would say it's fine to accumulate some, and would advise those as a diversification tool for a precious metals portfolio. Palladium, an interesting and fascinating metal indeed. What are your thoughts on palladium? Is it a metal that you could see yourself accumulating in any form if the price starts to go back down again? Is it something that you would like to somehow perhaps speculate if possibly demand increases for this very rare precious metal? Who knows what will happen with the markets? Who knows how much palladium is left to mine? All of the palladium in the world could probably fit inside of a large living room. It's anyone's guess. Rarity does not equate with price or cost or high value for that fact. But nonetheless, it is interesting to see how much more palladium has played a role in the precious metals arena than it has in the past. And I believe because of the low price in the mid-2000s, that was the beginning of an introduction into this type of market. Otherwise, we may not have ever seen these enter the market at such a low price point and in a manufactured form such as bars, coins, and rounds. So post your thoughts on Palladium. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed this video. I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to y'all for watching and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.